like and subscribe. What was the most NSFW thing your teacher did? My gym teacher in elementary school had sexual relations with one of our classmates' moms whilst in his office, attached to the gym, where he had a class of second graders running laps. The band director had sexual relationships with 3 different girls at the same time. One was 18, the other 2 were minors, and the chorus teacher embezzled $40K over 5 years. Told the class at an all-boys Catholic school that she gave up giving blowjobs for Lent, and that she misses giving it. One of my teachers was I'm a student, they're now married with kids, and she still has the job. Edit, I should clarify that at the time he was around 17 or so, and she was in her early 30s. Had a youngish female sex ed teacher in grade 8 who stated that girls can ejaculate while orgasming. When questioned about it, she described her own experience with the phenomenon of squirting. The boys in the class kept asking for more and more detail. She did not last long. And neither did the boys. In college, one of my professors had the class play the fashion or porn game. Google it. You're shown a small piece of an image and you have to guess if it's pornographic or from a fashion shoot. Once you guess, it reveals the rest of the photo, and if you get it right you move on to the next picture. We were all well over 18, and got a laugh out of it, but it was definitely a *UNIQUE* experience, when we inevitably got one wrong and a large NSFW image was projected onto the classroom wall. Talked about how she gave her excited puppy hand jobs to calm him down. Didn't see much of her after that. I was taking a BO test in college and the girl had a pretty interesting tattoo on her shoulder, half covered by her top. The professor walking around saw the half tattoo and pulled down her top slightly to see the rest of it without asking. She was shocked, and half the class saw, and he snapped out of it and knew he head up and just said nice, then walked to his desk. I am pretty sure she just wrote it off as him being quirky and decided not to tell the board cause he was not suspended or anything. Was he a creep or a genuine no? I did not mean it like that. There was one teacher who would get really close to the female students when talking to them, and stroke their hand and stare really intensely at them. He seemed to do it more with the socially awkward girls. I guess he thought they were less likely to say anything. He was once found handcuffed to a student after school had finished for the day, and managed to play it off as a joke gone wrong. The sad thing was he was an absolutely brilliant teacher. People loved his classes, and because of that people were less likely to bring up what a creep he was. Had a French teacher that brought in a French woman, prostitute, to speak to the class in French. Sat at the front of the class, on top of a desk, short skirt. We learned a lot that day, but none of it related to the language. Did you learn how to read lips? Catholic high school. He was our morality teacher, and the lead singer of a band with a sexual innuendo, so held as a real dual threat. He ended up being an assistant coach for our back team, and went to one of my friend's graduation parties, and they had 6. She was 18. Same guy also took me, and 3 others to Hooters on a trip to a track meet out of state, got too drunk, got the waitress's number, and we had to drive the short bus back to the hotel for him. A teacher at my high school sold weed to a student and also had sex with him. Plot twist, you were homeschooled. Not a teacher. The principal. A special ed teacher in front of a very special ed student who just so happened to be rigged with a camera for some reason. Long story short, both resigned and not that many people know about it. I guess there was an NDA. Did not make the news or anything. Kinda strange. If he was wearing a camera, it could mean he was coming back home with signs of abuse or something, and that he either wouldn't say or couldn't express himself correctly, so they rigged him up to see what was happening to him. Spanking it to porn on the computers at the school library, back when the internet was still reasonably new, and not in every household. He picked a time where he was sure everyone was gone, cause he got caught by 3 students. Went to Catholic school. A young, early 20s, history teacher would always smile at me and knew my name. He taught freshmen my junior and senior year. Kind of creeped me out, but being a good Christian I was polite. I went to a commuter school, lived in a major city, and my first week of college I ran into him at the bookstore. He actually grabbed my waist from behind and held me. He told me how excited he was to see me, and asked if I was interested in going out with him. First words out of his mouth, on a date. I was shocked. Personal space did not exist. I said I was seeing someone, and quickly apologized, and he said when that ends, here's my number, call me. He did not realize the two people who I was with were girls from my high school. We were all creeped out. He ended up marrying a former student of his 6 years later. My one male homeroom teacher went into detail on how his wife and him did not have sex anymore, and how they were on the verge of divorce. Oh, and that he has a vasectomy. We were all 12 to 13. This was way back in the 70s, when overhead projectors were commonly used. One teacher, charmingly referred to as *SANDBAGS*, frequently did not wear a bra on warmer autumn and spring days. But it was always cool in the classroom. She would lean over that bright surface and light up the pointy words. It was absolutely glorious. This was way back in the 70s, when overhead projectors were commonly used. As late as 2010 they were still in common use. Probably still are. Sorry for the formatting. I am on mobile, but this story is. I'm crazy. I had this English teacher during my sophomore year who I actually looked up to before *THE incident. He was funny, a good teacher, had a pretty cool beard, and was pretty cool. There was also this girl in my class, who I thought was really pretty, and I had a bit of a crush on. My teacher and the girl got along really well, and honestly it made English class really fun. Fast forward a year, and that same teacher was arrested for having sexual relations with a student. No name was stated, but everyone knew that it was the pretty girl in my class, especially since she moved out of the state that year. It turns out that the teacher wrote a contract to give the girl a B in the class in exchange for sexual favors. He even left a note on her desk with candy that said, and I quote, "I would smash you into thin powder, mix you with water and drink it." The teacher's wife, who also taught at the school, was pregnant at this time and prematurely went into labor when the news broke. I don't think they're married anymore, since this was about 5 years ago. I stopped looking up to him after that. Edit. Thank you for the silver. Now to see this on some YouTube channel with a text-to-speech bot reading it. Junior high pair teacher / coach sold into Alex and got busted in a sting. Put too much sodium in a 4L beaker of H2O. It exploded in spectacular fashion, emptying the water onto the ceiling, where it fell all over her and soaked her blouse. She had nice nipples. My photography teacher in high school decided to use the developing lab for his personal project, but left the negatives behind in one of the projectors. That day, several photos were printed off by students and pasted up on the walls around the school. They were of the teacher and his girlfriend in various phases of copulation, some of which included suspension / bondage play, and *MANY* close-up penetration shots. He lost his job, and was subsequently run out of the district. Coincidentally, this opened up a period for me, so I could join the new breakdancing class for PEC credits. My school was pretty fun. Went to office hours for extra help and we were barely working for 5 minutes, then he touched me on my cheek, and thanked me for my professionalism. Never packed up my and left so fast. Thanking someone for professionalism, while being incredibly unprofessional. In high school my cheer coach was an active porn star. She was actually a really good coach. We went to nationals, and were the first team from our town to place at state. It was honestly awesome. Guys fell all over her, and she used it to upgrade our rooms at hotels, and get extra meal tickets, because we were all poor kids from a border town. The best part was, when it went public we were featured in National Enquirer. Honestly, she was the best sex ed teacher anyone could have had, but it wasn't. Like, she taught us how to be sluts, just like answered more stuff about our anatomy and debunked a lot of the high school rumors that always went around. We all still keep in contact. It was a shame when the town found out they actually shamed the out of her, and she really did not deserve it. My biology teacher in 8th grade brought her own dildo to class to demonstrate how to put on a condom. The school had more than enough wooden demonstration phalluses. She then went on to explain to us that she liked the ripped condoms the best because they stimulated her G-spot the best, and proceeded to show us on a diagram where the G-spot is, which I snowed bad, but I don't want to know about your condom choices. I had a teacher who, while teaching us economics in high school, would slowly but firmly rub her vagina against the corner of the desk. This wouldn't just be a momentary itch, the rubbing was both pronounced and prolonged. Elicited a few giggles in the back bench, but just made me plain uncomfortable TBH. My German teacher showed us a video of how to skin an alligator in class. Really ruined appetite for lunch. Both of these happened after I had graduated, but my boss having 2 kids and at high school, I heard what happened. The principal got caught on camera. I'm a teacher in his office. Principal was forced to leave, but still got his whole pay for that school year. IDK, what happened to the teacher? One of the ROTC teachers was. I'm an underage student. He was fired. Small town, small school. This teacher got one of his students pregnant, ended up marrying the student's mom. They passed the kid off as their own. Then he became principal of the high school where he met his kid's mother. Edit, trying to fix the drugs for him. Blonde Spanish teacher, MILF, had huge boobs, never wore a bra, and was always cold. EUR6. Us boys never missed a class. You've been visited by the ghost of a very important man. Pay your respects by liking and subscribing, and he'll grant you 3 weeks of good luck.